Joe has got,
Bernie,
yeah,
our little mascot,
the nope rope.
no probe. Here, if I can get him to come here, buddy. Come here. Say hi. There. Say hi. Say hi to all your Facebook friends. There you go. Say hi. Yeah. Say hi, buddy. Come here. Say hello. There you go.
Stevania said hi to the nope rope.
Yeah. He's a good nope rope. He ain't gonna hurt nobody. As you can see, I wrap him around my neck, and he fights me wrapping himself around my neck. So he's a good
Tim,
boy.
that's about as best we can get as far as the angle on the live stream. For some reason, it won't let me do it the other way.
He wants to go say hi to Big Joe, but Big Joe won't let him.
Nope.
So anyway,
That's right, Stefan. Nope.
for those of you that requested him to be on the video, there he is. He's not gonna bother you. He's just checking you out. All right. Anyway, let's get down to.
No, Timmy's not so tiny.
He's about 7 feet right now. He's not tiny.
All right. So, welcome our YouTubers, our Facebook family, everybody. For our YouTube feed, go ahead and smash that like button, that subscribe button. You know, this way you guys keep posted every time we post something. So, Stefani said it'll make a nice purse.
Don't fuck with my snake. This is my buddy. Like literally, he is my buddy. I know that a lot of you guys don't know about snakes. Come here. And are afraid of them and everything else like that. But trust me when I tell you, he's my best friend. He's awesome. So, and that's just me. I get it.
Yeah, Egan, this is because of you, dude.
Yeah. You want me to bring out the other ones? I can go ahead and do that. Bring out the bigger ones. Although I think Bernie is the biggest one in the house right now. Pretty close. So.
All right.
Anyway. Let's get to what we were
All right, this
planning on
is
getting to.
the third podcast in the Time Off series. Last one we touched on angels and demons and stuff like that. So we thought we would talk about the differences between good and bad angels, good and bad demons, stuff like that. So as usual, if you guys have any questions, just drop them down in the comments, and we'll get to answering. So
Angels and demons. Okay.
for starters, there is a difference between, there is a good angel and a bad angel. There's watchers, there's protectors, there's militaristic.
I think the biggest misconception, as far as religious people out there or just believers of whatever sort, the biggest misconception is that, heaven is all good and hell is all bad. That's not the case. And that's a real big problem, and it's a real hard concept for a lot of people to actually buy into just because of the fact of what they've been taught through the years and through their childhoods and everything else like that. And I'm sorry if I sound like I'm out of breath because Bernie is squeezing. But
Snake is doing what the snake's supposed to do.
Yeah, he's doing what he's supposed to do, and he's rather strong. But that is the biggest misconception. There are good demons. If you if you look into any of the history of demons or the lore of demons or anything else like that, like, okay, take Legion for example, because of the fact that he's been put into so many movies and he's been put into. He's so. Damn it. He's put
We'll put him away.
so much into the mainstream media that people would know about him. He is not a good demon by any means whatsoever.
Now, I have a question on that.
Yeah.
Now, I agree he's not a good demon, all this other, but you're referring to him as like a single entity. But isn't he like a multitude?
Yes, he is a multitude. He is very much unlike any other demon that you would ever see. Which again, I mean, if you do enough research into angels and everything else like that, you would actually find some things that actually kind of fit Legion. You would find his nemesis or whatever it is you want to call it. That just goes with all the storyline of the Bible and everything like that. But I mean, Legion is a multitude of bad souls that were here on Earth and basically all found their home into one body, one host. Yeah, thank you. One of our other teammates are here, but you're not going to see him on video. They found solace in one host. At the most I've ever read, he's about 7 to 8 souls, all trapped into one host, all having the same goal. Which that makes, in my mind, it makes Legion one of the most powerful demons in religious history, but I mean there is argument to go against that. Like you have Belial, you have Bahamut, you have which Belial, in a lot of ways, a lot of people are going to sit and look at demonic religion and say Belial ain't nothing. Well, actually, Belial is the second hand of the demon. So, I mean, he's the right-hand man. He is the shit. When you look at, like movies, like The Exorcism of Emily Rose, she said that and this is even in the tapes, that she was possessed by 6 demons, which was Belial, Adolf, Judas, I'm sorry? Nero, Legion, and Lucifer. Okay, the bottom line, and this is what makes that story completely full of shit, Lucifer is not... Okay, Lucifer obviously is Satan, and he is the devil and everything else like that. And yes, I know you're pissy. But Lucifer is not going to come down and possess anybody for anything. That is one thing that everybody needs to get into their head really, really fast. He's not going to waste his time. I mean, if you actually look at a religion or, demonic religion or Catholic religion, Christian religion, whatever the case may be, he's not going to waste his time possessing... He's not going to waste his time possessing anybody. So, I mean, and I have a lot of other things about the exorcism of Emily Rose, but I mean, that may be coming in another podcast. But as far as demonology goes, there's a lot of people that got it way, way wrong. And it's a lot simpler than what y'all put out. That's all I gotta say. I'm sorry.
Well,
unless somebody wants to get into it.
As far as that movie goes, I mean, it's a fictionalization of a supposed true story. From an exorcism that happened way back in like the 50s, I think it was.
What
Germany?
Emily Rose
Yeah.
story? It was 50s, 60s. Very, very religious Germany. Um, her real name was Annalise Michel. You can actually find the
You can find the tapes on YouTube,
yeah,
actually.
whether you want to call them research tapes or investigation tapes or whatever, interview tapes, whatever you want to call them.
I mean, if you're a believer, they're gonna creep you out.
I don't
If
think
you're
so.
if you're
I
a,
don't think so
if you're a skeptic,
because
then
one of the things in the movie that they try to portray is that she had different voices. And if you actually listen to the tape, it's all her voice. It's all just her changing her voice. Like if I sing, like I'm a death metal fan. Okay, if I want to sit and growl and do that big guttural death metal growl, I can do that. But then if I want to go and sing George Jones or Ronnie Millsap or something like that, I can do that as well. So, I mean, you have a vocal range, and what they were saying is that her voices that she was portraying, and now this is in the movie. In the movie, they were saying that she was portraying a vocal range that was way out of her realm, which is false because if you actually listen to the tapes themselves, it's all in her range. I mean, there's absolutely nothing there that really makes you believe that she was possessed by another entity. I don't know how much you actually listened to the tapes, but
I've listened to them, and it's
I have too. But it's all her voice.
yeah.
At the end of the day, like if I wanted to sit there and say, hey, hey, blah 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 blah, and then all of a sudden say, blah 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 blah. See, it's
You
all a
know,
vocal range.
and honestly, I think it was just more
She was nuts.
sensationalized because of the era,
Yeah,
you
and
know,
she was out of her
and the part
goddamn
of the
mind.
world and all that. So
And that's the other thing too. Around the time that she actually supposedly was possessed was around the time of World War II.
yes,
So I mean, you got to understand the stress that she was under.
right after.
Yeah, you got to understand the stress that she was under. You or nor I, we don't know what Germany went through after the surrender and everything else like that. That was a lot of shit to go through. So I mean, I don't necessarily blame her for for the story, but I do believe it was very, very much
It was just her.
edited for television. I think it was just to get a spook out of people. I don't think it was real whatsoever. And on the other side of it, which makes me strongly hope that it was not real, is that if she really truly was possessed by Lucifer or Belial, we have a very, very serious fucking problem. And we would have already seen it by now. So that's my take on that movie.
Kind of went off on a tangent, but
Well,
kind of how these things work, I guess.
answering questions, we're gonna do that.
Yeah.
We're gonna go off on the different things.
You know, like we were saying, there is a difference between good and bad in both, you know, angelic and demonic. You know, if anybody has ever heard of the Book of Enoch, now the Book of Enoch is said to be a book that was actually removed from the Bible by the Catholic Church because of what it teaches. I mean, it goes all the way back to Genesis, you know, and it speaks on the creation of man and everything. And according to the Book of Enoch, the angels that were sent down to basically watch humans did something that they were not supposed to do.
Dave's gonna want to see this. Come here. There you go, Dave. Oh.
Hey, Linda, how you doing?
So is Mom.
No. Oh, yeah, your mom. Your mom. Sorry, there's a couple of different Lindas watching.
Come on. Get down.
Anyway. Not good. Not good. Not good. Not good. Not good. Okay. He unplugged the.
I got it.
All right. Anyway. Yes, Tim. They're called Watcher Angels, and they were referred to. They were actually given a name. I believe it was Grigori.
Yes.
Okay.
That
Now,
actually follows the Necronomicon.
Yeah. Well, that's probably another reason why it was out of the Bible.
Yep.
But these Grigori were sent to Earth to specifically watch humans and report back to God. They were in no manner supposed to interact at all. They weren't supposed to change anything that would change the human race's timeline. But these Grigori saw how beautiful our women were, and they mated with them, creating the Nephilim, or giants.
Nephilim, yes.
Okay, the race of giants. So it's not that they didn't necessarily do something bad, but they were some of the first sect of angels to go against God's decree. Then there was another set of Grigori who actually brought. Now, this is according to the Book of Enoch, and this is if you want to believe what this book says, and you want to believe that this was actually part of the Bible that got removed.
Yeah, and follow that with Dante's Inferno. So just to let y'all know.
Well,
So if you're going to get into demonology, you want to read the Book of Enoch, and then you want to read Dante's Inferno. There's a unlike God's books or the Bible's books or whatever the case may be, there is a series that you have to read as far as demonology is concerned. And I'm glad that he brought up the Book of Enoch, because if you're going to read the Book of Enoch first, then you want to read Dante's Inferno right after, because it actually will follow up some stories and give you some insight. So I didn't want to cut you off.
No, that's fine. That's fine. But as far as Dante's Inferno goes, that's where everybody gets their view of hell, what they think of hell actually is.
Yeah.
The Dante's Inferno was written by Dante, a man. You know,
right.
It's strictly his opinion.
Same as the Necronomicon. Okay, every demonology book is written by man.
Yeah, that's correct, Tim.
Let's scratch that bullshit off of the path right now. Like you've got Dante's. Okay,
and yes, the Bible was written by men too, but
right. But there's so many people that in religion will argue that it wasn't written by men. Okay, that's the whole problem with each side. Like, okay, if you come across Book of Enoch, it was written by man. If you come across the Devil's Bible, that was written by man. That was
Aleister Crowley.
No, it wasn't Aleister Crowley. I'll get his name in a second, but it wasn't Aleister Crowley. Aleister Crowley was the first church of Satan, and he was the first person to actually levitate in a seance, and nobody has any idea how the hell he actually did it. And this is back in the 40s, 50s, or 60s, whatever the case may be. Aleister Crowley was out of his damn mind. Even as far as demonology is concerned and how far I am into it, Aleister Crowley is out of his...
All right.
He's out there. Anton
Anton
LaVey.
LaVey.
Anton
That's what it
LaVey is the one that wrote the Devil's Bible. That's a man's perspective. Dante's Inferno. It's a man's it's a human's perspective.
Yeah.
Everything that you see on demonology is a human's perspective on what they think demonology or Satanism or anything else like that is. So you're not really getting something, firsthand, which Catholicism and some parts of Christianity say the Bible was written by God. I hate to break it to you, but no, it wasn't. See, this is an argument that we're going to get into, and I don't want to get into this on YouTube, so I'll shut up. I can go on with this for hours.
All right, getting back to the Book of Enoch. And Tim, yes, you're right. The head Grigori, head of the Watcher Angels, was named Santaneo. Okay, and they are the first sect to actually go against what God's decree was.
And that's actually and that's what demons actually have to call. That's the name that demons have to call out that want to be forgiven. So if you ever actually get a demon that is asking for forgiveness, like say you have a demon in a position to where you can kill him, he has to call that name out. He can't call out God's name. He has to call that name out to actually be forgiven.
I didn't know that.
Go on. Sorry. I keep interrupting, I know.
Okay.
Panzer, go lay down. Go lay down.
Like last time I came here, you hugged me.
I know. Go lay down.
All right.
Sorry.
So, and yet another Watcher Angel.
He didn't do anything.
Another Watcher Angel actually brought warfare to man. Man had no idea. Again, this is according to the Book of Enoch. Man had no idea what violence was, what warfare was, what anything was, and that angel taught man swordplay, which brought warfare to the world. If you hear when you hear references of fallen angels or something along those lines, they're probably speaking about the Watcher Angels, the Grigori. What? Go ahead.
No, I'll finish up. I'm fine. I'm fine. You see, I knew this was going to be a problem on this podcast because you and I see as far as religion is concerned. My biggest problem with all the religious facets that we have that goes towards paranormal is that I think religion is total bullshit. He's religious. I'm not. I'm a seer believer type thing, and I work my brain off of logic. And my logic actually breaks down to, if Satan, if everything that the Bible says is true, then it's the most hypocritical fucking book that you can ever read in your entire life. and it's bullshit. Okay? So, the Bible says that Satan, rose up against God and basically said, I don't agree, and started a war. Well, the problem is with this is that the first beings that he gave free will to was us. That means angels did not have free will. Lucifer was the first head motherfucker angel. So how did he even actually have the choice to actually say, hey, I don't agree with you, piss off? It makes no sense whatsoever. And then all of a sudden, as you read through the Bible, God gave us what the angels never had, was free will. That means free will to think, free will to choose, free will to say what you want to say. Free will. Everybody knows what free will is. The angels didn't have that. So how the hell did Lucifer actually have the ability to say, hey, I don't agree with you, piss off, I'm going to start a war? It doesn't make any fucking sense. That's my whole part of religion. And I get really, really riled up and pissed off and slurring speech and everything else like that when it comes to religion, because to me, religion is bullshit. It's total bullshit. It's just another way to control you. Thou shalt not kill. Well, motherfucker, if somebody comes into my house and tries to fucking rape my daughter, I'm going to kill him. Okay? Sorry, but that's just the way that I'm going to work things. Thou shalt not steal. Well, if I'm starving and I have a family and my daughters are starving, guess what? I'm going to steal some bread and feed them. Piss off. Religion just absolutely makes zero sense to me whatsoever. And then once you actually get to the exorcism parts of religion and the Vatican and everything else like that, and we touched base on this in our first podcast. Who in the hell in the Vatican actually, agreed to do the exorcism of the demon house? Nobody. Nobody. So if what we read and what we hear and what we see is that the Vatican has to approve every single freaking exorcism, and then we have exorcisms being done in Gary, Indiana, to a person that really didn't even need to be exorcised in the first place. It was the kids that needed to be exorcised. How is this all working right? There's too many questions about religion. It just annoys the shit out of me. I'm sorry. I'm rambling. I'm pissed. Now I'm pissed. So
I really don't understand why.
glad you can fuck with me tonight. Dick.
But yeah.
Yeah.
I think we're going to give that the whole angel demon conversation a rest for right now. Might touch back on it a little bit.
I'm actually curious on what you guys think.
Well,
Yeah,
Tim's the only one that was...
Well, Tim's going to argue because...
No, he's not arguing. He's the only one that's actually commenting.
Well, I'm not saying that he's going to argue, but, I mean, Tim has questions about religion one way or the other. And the biggest thing about it is just like I said,
Well, Tim, he's talking about the Catholic Church. The Vatican. Methodist is, they're Christian, but they're a completely different,
At the end of the day, Timmy, you all follow the same freaking book, one way or the other. Stop categorizing it. Well, I'm a Christian, so that doesn't apply. I'm Baptist, so that doesn't apply. That's bullshit. It's bullshit. Okay, at the end of the day, did Lucifer go against God? Yes, period. Well, how did he do that if he did not have free will? That's the argument that I'm bringing up. That's the discussion that I'm bringing up. I don't care what religion you are, whether or not you believe in it or not. Okay, just give me an answer or a question or something to go off of to actually help me in my research. Because at the end of the day, if I have no research or anything to go off of to explain how it is that Lucifer had the power to go against God when he didn't have free will in the first damn place, then there's no discussion here. So give me something to work off of. I don't care what religion you are.
Well, maybe next time we got to bring in a religious scholar, and they might be able to.
That's the sad part about it. I mean, I've gone to churches and I've asked fathers, "How did this happen?" And they all just sit there and tell me, "I'll pray for you."
They're not.
I don't want you to pray for me. I want an answer. You know. So there we go. There's my rant for the evening. Don't get me on religion, man. It's bad. That's my whole thing. I'll do a whole podcast on religion by myself, and I'll fight you all. And I seriously would love to hear.
I don't know. You've been on a half an hour rant. So.
Well, true, but I would love to hear intellectual arguments against this because that will further my knowledge in this. That's. I have a real problem with religion, if nobody's noticed yet. Next subject.
The Amityville House.
Oh, Jesus.
Was it Ronnie DeFeo, is that his name? Yeah.
What we think of the Amityville House. Oh, my God.
Rant number 2.
No, there's no rant whatsoever. This one's actually pretty simple. You have Elizabeth and Ed Warren that and I'm pretty well up on this just because of the fact that my mother for a time thought that Elizabeth Warren Lorraine, sorry, thank you. Lorraine Warren, my mother for a time thought Lorraine Warren just like hung the moon and stars and she could tell everybody everything. She screwed herself by going on Paranormal State, which was a show that didn't last long on cable, Xfinity, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, it was on A&E for, I think they only had like, what, 5 seasons maybe?
But her claim to fame was the Amityville House. It wasn't the house in England or whatever it is. If you watch The Conjuring 2, you can follow the whole story. Which, yes, that house is haunted and everything else like that. And, that has the most documented haunting history known to the world, period. That house is seriously screwed up. It shut down quite a bit of shows on A&E, on the Travel Channel, and a couple other channels because they went to that house and it screwed with somebody. So, on one side, I think Ed and Lorraine Warren are somewhat legit, but very, very limited because as far as the Amityville House is concerned, which is where they got their claim to fame, Ronnie DeFeo has done many, many interviews afterwards knowing exactly what he did and admitting to what he did, and he has changed the story every single time that he's done the interview just to try to get time off of his sentence.
Here's the biggest thing with that. In any documented possession case,
you don't know you're possessed.
The possessed doesn't know that they're possessed. They don't remember anything that happened to them during the possession.
And he knows exactly everything that happened that night. He can explain everything. if you're possessed by a demon, you don't know why you did what you did, or you don't even know that you did what you did, period. Forget the why. You don't even know that you did it. He knows he did it. He knows why he did it. He knows how he did it. And he's admitted this in multiple different interviews. But yet Lorraine Warren wants to sit there and say, oh, he was demonically possessed and that house is buried or planted on the Indian burial ground. Well, they've dug underneath that house. They've never found any Indian burial ground. They've done research and like land research on that house. It's not on any Indian burial ground. They've interviewed Ronnie so many times that I can't even count, and he knows exactly what happened, what time it happened, how it happened, when it happened, why it happened, and everything else to that nature. He can answer everything. He was not possessed. But yet, Lorraine Warren comes in and said, oh, he was possessed. And all of a sudden, she becomes fucking famous. Give me a break. And then all of a sudden, like, now they go off of that and they, oh, the Annabelle doll is possessed. No. It's a doll. It's a fucking doll. It might be a creepy doll, but it's a doll. Then they finally actually get themselves into something that's actually real, which was, I think it's the Edinburgh house. I want to actually say that it's an Edinburgh house. That's the one that's in England, which was in The Conjuring 2. That one was proven there's something going on in that house. And then all of a sudden you don't hear anything from Ed and Lorraine Warren again until they show up on Montel Williams or Oprah. So, what does that tell you?
No, I'm agreeing with you.
The Warrens are full of shit. That's my bottom line on it. The Warrens are seriously full of shit. I've not met or seen a psychic yet on any TV show or personally that has any idea what the hell it is that they are actually talking about. Not yet. I'm not saying that they're not out there. And I'm not disproving psychics. I'm not saying that. I just haven't met one that's actually worth their salt yet.
Does anybody have any questions about what we've touched on so far? You know, go ahead, put them down in the comments, and you know we'll answer what we can. You know, to the best of our knowledge. Anyway.
I'm sure very many will be mad at me, but come on. This is my controversial podcast.
Okay.
I got that one.
Yeah. It's
Orbs.
almost done.
Types of
orbs and other types of manifestations. This was brought to our attention today. I guess one of Jamie's friends, his wife's friends on Facebook, sent her this article about,
orbs.
I guess, a woman talking about orbs.
What's real and what's not real.
Exactly.
That's very, very hard to explain or to talk about, because there's so many. Like, we've had hits on our Facebook page that, you know, is this an orb? Is that an orb? What do you think of this? What do you think of that? You know, there's so many possibilities to orbs, and it's unfortunate. It really is, because there's a lot of people that, you know, will see an orb on a video and think, oh my God, you know, it's a recent family member that's passing through or saying hi or something like that, and that's so sad.
A lot of times with orbs and different manifestations, that's kind of what it is.
Yeah,
you know, people are trying to grasp onto something for some kind of a sign, and
the biggest thing about orbs is you have to understand orbs in a camera lens can be anything. I mean, literally anything. It could be a lightning bug. It could be a fly. It could be a mosquito. It could be a gnat.
Well,
It could be dust particles. It can be hair. It could be. There's so many different things.
especially in a still photo.
Exactly.
You know,
Even that, like
on
in
video,
a security
it's
camera.
a little easier to. On video, it's a little easier to discern the differences. But with a still photo, environment has a lot to do with it. You know, an orb pretty much is just a circular white anomaly.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, it could be dust, it could be mist, water vapor in the air, it could be a bug. It, like you said, I mean, a gnat. We're just reflecting the light. I mean, it's
the biggest thing that I can actually say about orbs. If you want to actually make sure that it is an actual orb, is to track its movement. Don't sit there and say, as soon as it shows up and it moves, don't sit there and say, "Oh my God, it's an orb."
That's why I said it's easier to discern on video than it is on a still photo.
Exactly.
Because on video you can follow its path. You know, dust kind of just floats. You know, a bug, you can actually see the wings fluttering or, you know, darting or whatever.
Right. But I mean,
an orb,
at that
usually
point,
on video, an orb just, you know, or
it will take a certain flight path,
yes.
and you don't see any
like when a bug flies,
any interaction.
You can see the deviation.
Yeah,
you know,
you don't
kind
see any
of
deviation.
sweeping. You know, as the movement. And normally with the light anomalies and orbs, it's just direct. Like, you know, even when they change direction, it's direct.
The home investigation that we did.
Yeah, I got to get those pictures. Those are cool.
Yeah, we got to get those pictures up, and we actually got to get that posted to YouTube. But YouTube's being just a little bit of a pain in the ass because we have a lot more sponsors now. We have a lot more people backing us. It's a little bit more difficult for us to actually upload videos right now, not to monetize everything. So, you know, our apologies to that. But the last investigation that we did, like I'll go on record right now. I don't really necessarily think that there's anything there. If there is anything there, I don't think that there's anything to really seriously worry about or anything else like that. But on the same token, something that happened to me, I was actually taking still photos of the area that we were looking at, and all of a sudden I had an orb actually like fly right towards my face. I mean, you can actually see, you'll be able to see it once we actually load up the YouTube video, that like I ducked like I was getting shot at. You know, it was just like, holy shit, you know, something's coming at me. And I actually ended up catching a picture of it. Now, the good thing about iPhones nowadays is that you can catch it, you know, you can catch a picture frame by frame for about 3 to 4 seconds. And it shows the orb flying right at my face. And
the main like picture is a complete whiteout screen.
Yeah. So, I mean, do I believe 100% that was an orb? Yes, I do. Because right after I took that picture, I snapped yet another picture. Like it was half a second after. I just kept on hitting the button. So I would, you know, get time-lapse pictures. And the very next picture after that happened to me, it was a normal picture. So, I mean, do I believe in orbs? Yeah, I do. But you got to be really, really careful on what you call an orb. There's been videos that some of our subscribers on Facebook have sent me and asked me, you know, what do you think? And I forwarded them to
the
Joe
one
here.
That was really cool was it was footage from a security camera.
Yeah,
that was
right on the floor.
Like the back door by the stairs going upstairs, and this thing just.
Yep, that's the one I was actually talking about. We've had people, you know, release security camera footage to us off of our Facebook page and say, hey, you know, what do you think? You know, should I be worried? Is this something, you know, et cetera, et cetera? And I would share it to Joe, and I would share it to a couple of other people that are, you know, video experts that we know, and it's proven true. It is a orb. It's nothing that anybody can explain. And I've got back to those subscribers and told them, yeah, you got something real. Now, is that a entity that's actually going to do something or communicate with you or try or anything else like that? That remains to be seen.
Yeah.
But just because you have an orb in your house does not mean that you have a haunted house. That's one big thing that we want to get out of the way as far as orbs are concerned. Just because you have an orb does not mean that you have a haunted house.
Because honestly, like I said, they depending on the environment, it can be anything. You know, to touch on Tim's question,
Ginger, go to bed.
he asked, "Don't true orbs fly in a straight line, even when they shift in the different directions?"
No.
Well, that is exactly what we just said.
No, it's not.
Orbs travel direct paths.
Well, that's what you said. That's not what I said.
You agreed with me.
Did I?
Yeah.
Okay, I don't agree with you.
Why?
Well, orbs are going to... we have something from the peanut gallery out here. What? No? No? Okay. Orbs are going to take a path whatever the hell they feel like taking. That's
Yeah, but
a straight path is way too... that's too easy. I mean, can an orb be a straight path? Yes, it can be. I agree with you. It can be a straight, you know, from point A to point B. It can be. But on the same token, when it comes to, like, video people who actually look at these things and, you know, study them and everything else like that, when they see something in it as far as a straight path, they're more likely to say, no, it was something else other than actually being an orb. If you have something that actually does not follow a straight path or, you know, flows freely on its own path, then you have these researchers that say, yes, it was an orb or it's unexplained. So, I mean, it can fall on one side or the other, but I think it's all on the viewer.
You've got a point, because I have seen them to where they've come in, stopped, and stayed in, you know,
And
as an
shot
orb, and
off.
then took off.
Yeah.
You know, and I have seen them come sweeping in rather than darting. You know, and these were actual orbs.
Andrew, I said go to bed.
Tim also asked if we believe an orb to be a soul, angelic, demonic. When it comes to orbs, he's not familiar with the lore. The thing about orbs, it can be anything, but it's probably not demonic. You know? They try to hide a little bit more than that, and then when they do make a presence, it's known.
They're going to make okay, if you, and you know what, we actually touched on this here on our last investigation.
Podcast or investigation?
Investigation, not our podcast.
Okay.
Our last investigation, we had a inkling that something was there that was demonic. The only way that you're going to get something demonic to actually show itself is to antagonize the shit out of it.
I tried. Okay?
We both did.
I fucking tried.
You know, a lot of demons. If you're dealing with a demon possession or a demon haunting or something along those lines, 99.9% of the time they are going to hide themselves as a child or mostly as a female, to be honest, because most
non-threatening.
It's the most non-threatening entities,
and their goal is to be welcomed.
So what you want to do to make sure is to antagonize the hell out of it, like challenge it to a fight. You know, challenge its powers, challenge.
Yeah.
its reasoning. Challenge every possible reason that it could be there. And if it does not respond, then you know. Well, you really don't
Yes,
know,
Tim.
but you know more so that it's not a demon. Like, you can be a little bit more comforted in the fact that knowing that it's not a demon, either that or that you have a very, very persistent demon and he's just not going to play around with your ploys, more or less.
Yeah.
But on the most part, when you antagonize a demon hiding as something else, that demon's going to come out and it's going to show its power. For Tim, he's going to understand. You antagonize me on War Commander, I'm going to come in, I'm going to fuck you up. I'm not going to sit here and play games with you. That's kind of how you can relate. But that's how it's actually going to work. When you antagonize the demon's not going to just sit there and play games with you. It's going to fight back, and it's going to show its real place. You can outsmart a demon rather quickly when it comes to paranormal activity.
You're right, Tim. We said that it was a no-no to antagonize, a provocation. We were talking about if you're going in, have absolutely no experience whatsoever, no protection on you, nothing, don't know how to get rid of the thing.
You
it is a bad idea. Exactly.
Yeah.
You go straight into an investigation, and right away you start with the provocation. You don't know if you're dealing with a child.
Yeah,
you don't know,
that's wrong.
Yeah, you don't know if you're dealing with an old spirit, like an old person that just passed. You don't know if you're dealing with that.
Right.
You don't know if you're dealing with demonic. You don't know if you're dealing with angelic.
And
to be honest with you, if you're dealing with angelic, I'd rather fuck with the demonic.
Right. And see, the big thing is about it, like, if you're going to go into, if you people out there are actually trying to start paranormal, investigations and things like that, the first thing that you want to make sure that you do not do when you go into an investigation is you do not instigate. You do not. You come off as nice. Is there anybody here? Is there anybody who wants to talk to us? We're here for you. You need to be open and sympathetic to whatever it is that you're actually going in and hunting down. Because more times than not, there's going to be lost souls that are out there that are looking for that person to talk to, looking for that person to tell their story to, or whatever the case may be. You don't want to go in automatically antagonistic and, I'm just going to go right in and I'm going to get rid of the bad. First off, you don't even know. I'm sorry, go ahead. I'm sorry.
We went over this last podcast, Tim. You can't just go into an investigation and do nothing.
Right.
Okay? You're saying, okay, there's something with a spirit rocking in a chair. Why not just observe?
Bullshit.
You have to engage.
Yeah, you have to engage. You have to let them know that you are interested. They're not just going to come out and say, oh, hi, I'm here. It's not going to happen that way. You've got to understand that how many people have been actually... Okay, let's take Posey, for example. Again, we go back to Posey. Let's take Posey, for example. We know that place is haunted. We know that there's many spirits there that actually want to communicate. But at the end of the day, think of how many fucking teenagers and everything else like that have just gone there just to get a rise out of, their friends or whatever, and don't give a shit about the people that are actually, there and lost or stuck or anything else like that. You need to open yourself up to those people. I'm sorry. You need to open yourself up to those spirits that actually want to communicate, that want to tell their story. Just because you see a chair rocking, okay, great. You see a chair rocking. 90% of the people that actually come and see that, they're going to run away. And those spirits know that. They take an evaluation card as well, dude. You've got to present yourself as genuine. You can't just sit there and be just like everybody else that comes and says, oh, is there anybody here? Oh, here's a rocking chair. Oh my God, we're going to run and we're going to leave. We're never going back to that place, and we're going to tell all of our high school friends that it's haunted, it's scary. You've got to understand, that's what most of these spirits have experienced. Now all of a sudden you have somebody like us that come in, or you, for example, that come in and say, hey, we want to hear this story. We want to know what's wrong. We want to know what the deal is. How can we help? Those spirits will be more prone to come out and say, hi. And you'll get more experiences off of that. And you'll actually get more interactions off of that rather than just sitting there saying, oh, I'm just going to observe.
Tim, you asked how. How what? How to engage?
Ask.
How to interact?
Talk. Just
well,
like you
I want to know what he means by how.
Right. Well, how? Okay.
You know, how to provoke.
Just the same way that you fucking call me on the phone. If I pick up, that's my choice on whether or not I pick up. You know, it's the same. It's the same logic. You're calling me. If I pick up, if I don't pick up, I see your number and say, I don't want to fucking talk to this guy right now. Go away. Or, fuck it, I'll talk to him right now. It's the same logic. There's nothing fancy about this, bro. Get out of the TV world. There's nothing fancy about this.
Yeah, that ain't a lie. The shit you see on TV, that's all it is. It's just sheer entertainment, fiction, for one. You know, I mean, anybody that considers these shows reality TV, it's bullshit.
You can literally...
Only thing reality about them is their names. That's about it.
You can literally do more for the paranormal world by taking your fucking phone, putting it on video record, and starting to ask questions, and then playing it back, than anything that you'll ever buy online, on Amazon, from ghost hunters, from whatever the case may be. You could do more just doing that and taking pictures than you'll ever do buying this $3,000 worth of equipment and buying shit that fucking hooks up to your Xbox. That's just a fact. I mean, you know, the stuff
now that we're talking about it.
Yeah, now that we're talking
drop
about
down in the description. There's going to be links to all the equipment that we use. You know, if you guys are curious on it, pop on a link, look at it. That's the stuff we use.
The sad part about it is most of it is apps off of our phone. And we've done more, well, true. Well, two. There's two that we've done off of our phone. Yeah. But, I mean...
And actually, it works fantastic.
Yeah, it worked great. But on the same token, you guys got to understand, like, you can go out and buy this shit from Xbox, and, you know, maybe it'll show you something, maybe it won't. But on the same token, you know, we really don't know how it works because of the fact that we haven't had it in our hands, and we don't know what it is that they're doing on TV to actually make this shit happen. Okay? We've got a spirit box. And I'm going to tell you right now, the spirit box that we see on TV compared to the spirit box that we have, it's nowhere near the same. Okay? Nowhere.
No, they have more of an upgraded version. We have an older version.
They may have an upgraded version and everything else like that, but I'm going to tell you one thing right now. We end up fucking catching more shit off of our phones than we do to that damn spirit box. We end up catching more off of our EVPs than we do our spirit box.
Oh, speaking of EVPs, I did go over the EVP that we got on that home investigation we did. Mm-hmm. And there's just way too much contamination. I can't tell if we actually got something or if it's something in the background. So I'm not even going to bother posting it.
You want to go over our last investigation before we actually post it? See if anybody actually wants to see it or not. Because I'm sure people seen it live.
Well, I'm sure our YouTube followers would like to see it.
True. Just a real... my recap on it. There's two ways that I can go on the last investigation that we did. Either there's...
It's a good question, Tim, and I'll hit that up as soon as he's done.
No, go ahead. I like Tim's questions. So
well, he wanted to know how we can decipher between radio chatter and paranormal chatter.
Um, uh,
Usually, it's an intelligent response to a question that was asked.
and it's
And
immediate.
Yes.
Within about 3 to 5 seconds.
Yes. And if it's in the same voice.
Mm-hmm.
Normally, when we get hits off of the spirit box, the hits are in the same voice.
Yeah.
You know, through multiple sweeps.
Which the last home investigation that we did, we had about 2 to 3 voices that were.
I just keep remembering that girl's voice.
Yeah, I agree. We had about 2 to 3 voices on that, but every single time that we would ask something, one of those 3 voices would always respond.
Yeah.
Or it was none. So that's how you kind of decipher between everything. It takes a little bit of getting used to, but I mean, in the paranormal world, they say that that's what works. So I'm.
Yeah, I mean, there's other stuff out there too. You know, there is.
Paranormal puck.
Yes, I want that.
That is an amazing tool.
The Ovilus pretty much will replace the app that we're using.
Yeah.
It's the same principle, but it's a much more sensitive system. And then there's this other type of spirit box. It's called a Geo box.
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
It essentially does the same thing as the spirit box, where it sweeps through channels, but you're able to control the reverberation on it to clear up the voices.
Cut out all the bullshit.
Exactly. You're able to get more definitive,
any painkiller, some sort.
You know, sounds out of it. We would also like to expand, in, you know, with the SLS. That's the one. If you guys watch these ghost shows, that's the one that, you know, they got the tablet out and it's got the stick figure and all that for, you know, the spirit and all that stuff. Definitely want to go to that. The heat vision, you know. But yeah, Tim, to answer your question, it's if you get the same voice over multiple sweeps, it's not just where you keep it on one station, or it sweeps very slowly so you can get a complete sentence off of one station or whatever. It sweeps so fast through the radio frequencies that to get the same voice over 5-6 sweeps, it's definitely something there. Okay. If you place the device near a PC or a TV with a DVD player, or in a room close to an electric pole with a transformer on it, won't the false readings often be in the same voice, tempo, or cadence? No. Actually, when you get the spirit box closer to an electrical device, it actually creates more white noise. It drowns out the radio chatter. So it'll keep sweeping, but it'll create more white noise and you won't hear that radio chatter. That's why when we use it, normally we'll set it on top of the speaker that we're using, or under the speaker that we're using, because it'll create more white noise and it makes it easier for, us to hear. So we were talking about orbs, weren't we? And just kind of completely veered off track with that one. Okay. Getting back to your question about the type of spirits that could be an orb. All right. I'm just trying to bring it back, because we keep kind of
that's a lot of ground to follow.
The app on the phone you use, right? No, I'm not talking about the app on the phone. I'm talking about the SB7 Spirit Box that we use, and it's got the remote speaker that goes with it. The app we use on the phone is called the Ghost Detector app, and the thumbnail is just of a ghostly hand. That one works a lot like the Ovilus.
It's like a shadow hand on a window.
Yeah.
More or less.
Yes. That one works a lot like the Ovilus, to where it'll bring up the actual word, you know.
And on top of it, you can keep a record of what has come up.
It archives the words as they come up.
Right, and you can kind of weed through the bullshit. Because a lot of what comes through on that app is bullshit. So you've got to use your Ovilus and that app, on at the same time to kind of weed through what is right and what is wrong.
Yeah, this is why we want to expand to the Ovilus and the Paranormal Puck 2. The Paranormal Puck 2 is an amazing system. It reads freaking.
And without hurting our chances, we have something in the Bill Chapel to see if we can start using his equipment and start doing this on a regular.
Yes.
And start using his equipment and using his updated equipment to actually go into places that we've already. To go into places that we've already investigated and to go into new places that we can investigate, and use his equipment to show that, first off, it works, that second off, it's genuine, and third, it's worth it. Him and I, we back his equipment 100%.
To be honest with you, this man is on the forefront of paranormal technology.
He is the man, period.
So
there's nobody. If something comes in on his equipment, there is no question. It's real. It's not BS. He's done years of experience, years of research and experimenting to make the products that he does, and that's why we back him, because he is just like us. He's into the science of it instead of like, oh, let's go on TV and make a ton of money. Obviously, you can see we're not here to make a ton of money. So, it just is what it is. But, hopefully we can get that going for you all. But in the meantime, we're going to do the best that we can.
Okay. Well, we're over an hour in. I think we ought to wrap up the YouTube feed.
Is there any other questions that we got to follow up on?
No, not really.
Wow, did we actually catch everything?
Just about. Thank you guys for watching. Facebook Live, stick around a minute. YouTube, thank you for watching. We appreciate it. We love you guys. We're trying to make this thing big. Hoping for the best. Drop down, click that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit that bell icon. This way you guys get notifications every time we drop a new video. We're trying to get them a little bit more frequent for you. Check out the description. Got a link to our merch. Got a whole sorts of line.
Awesome merch, by the way. Yeah. Awesome merch. If you guys want to argue with me about any type of religious stuff, go ahead and hit the icon, click the link, subscribe.
Yes.
Shoot me a message.
Drop a comment. Everything.
Drop a comment, man. I'll be. Trust me when I tell you, I am available to all of y'all. I have a day job and everything else like that, but on the same token, when this shit pops up, I'm there as fast as I possibly can. So I'm not going to respond to you within seconds. Sometimes I will, but most of the times it'll be, at least within the hour, I will respond to you. So don't think that any of you are not important
to us. Every comment that comes through, every subscription that comes through, we get the notification.
We get it, and I will definitely respond. If it's not Joe, Joe works crazy hours.
For now.
This Joe will respond to you one way or the other. So you have direct access to us one way or the other. And
I'll also drop our email address on there, too.
Yep.
Because if we're not getting back at you fast enough from the comments on the YouTube feed, drop us an email.
Yep, and
There's
even
no
that,
excuse for us not to answer it at that
for
point.
our YouTube viewers,
So-
here's just another option. Go ahead and jump on the Facebook. Check us out on
Yes.
Facebook. Subscribe to us on Facebook. A lot of times you will get our direct cell phone number to where you can contact us. We're not shy, people. We're here for you, one way or the other. So, I mean, if that's something that you're interested in, hop on the Facebook. 99% of the time, you will get our direct message shit or whatever the case may be. We'll contact you. We'll talk to you. We'll even talk to you on the phone. We don't care. We're here for our people. So, you know, subscribe to us on Facebook. Subscribe to us on YouTube. Subscribe to our merch. You know, buy the merch. We're not getting anything off of the merch. So just so you guys
the merchandise
understand
is
that.
strictly just to build South Lake Paranormal.
Exactly. We're not seeing any royalties off of that. This is all to the company. So you guys want to see us sometime on Travel Channel or something like that, get our merch, you know,
Help us grow.
and you'll get to see a lot more of us in the future. So
All right, guys, you take care.